There's nothing like a buttery, flaky, rustic blueberry crostata. But here's the part that surprises people. And you don't have to make every part from scratch to make it memorable. Here's the first little tip. I always spoon my flour into the measuring cup instead of scooping it. It's a small habit, but it's one of the easiest ways to keep your crust light instead of dry. Here's another little secret. Not every piece of butter is the same size. Some stay as little pebbles, but others get gently pressed into the flour. That's where those flaky layers begin. And ice water brings the dough together while keeping the butter cold. One more little step toward a beautiful flaky crust. And just enough water until the dough comes together. You don't want it sticky, and you don't want dry patches either. I like to shape my dough into a rectangle before it chills. You'll see why in just a minute. And yes, you want those patches of butter to show through. Here's another little trick. While the dough chills, I mix up some sweetened cream cheese. Its job is to protect the crust so it stays crisp while the blueberries bake. Now you can see why I started with the rectangle. It's already in the shape I need for the crostata. The other half gets tucked away for another use. I've always found working with pastry surprisingly relaxing. A light dusting of flour is all you need here. Just a thin layer of the cream cheese is all it takes. Enough to protect the crust, but never enough to compete with those blueberries. A lot of people think homemade means making everything from scratch. I don't. I'd much rather spend my time making an incredible all-butter crust than standing over the stove cooking blueberries. And that's where homemade really matters to me. If you're new here, welcome to Dinner at Marty's. Every week I share complete dinners and desserts for people who still enjoy making something special at home. Around here, it's never just about recipes. It's about setting the table, lighting a few candles, pouring a glass of wine, and making an ordinary evening feel just a little more special. Now comes my favorite part. Every crostata folds and bakes a little differently, and that's exactly what gives it its rustic character. Those little imperfections are part of what makes it feel homemade. And I'm going to make this one extra special. The egg wash gives the crust that beautiful golden finish, while the turbinado sugar adds one more little layer of crunch. And another little tip, buttered dough loves a hot oven. The blast of high heat gets those flaky layers forming before the butter has a chance to melt away. And while it bakes, I get the table ready, because around here dessert is more than something you eat, it's part of the evening. When it comes out of the oven, give it a few minutes to rest. Those bubbling blueberries are still settling. And I like to top it with a few fresh berries for brightness. And finally, a light dusting of icing sugar. Sometimes the simplest finishing touches are the most elegant, aren't they? And this is exactly what we were working toward. Light, buttery, and flaky, and beautifully crisp. A warm slice, a scoop of ice cream. And all that's left is to sit down and enjoy it. And this is exactly why the crust is the homemade part that matters the most. The first thing people notice is usually the fruit, but the first thing they'll remember is the crust. Thanks for joining me this evening. I'll see you at the next table.